A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Shooting up!
Nice new intro.
That was nice. Yeah.
Nice new intro. Cool.
I was like, wait, what happened? Let's go on forward, fam. That was a new intro. Chris, thank you. He's like, yeah, this should be the last one. I'm like, whatever, dude. Just keep making them. I don't care. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
I always love everything.
Not
Absolutely.
Change is
everything
good.
he makes, I'm always just like, awesome. It's probably a banger. And that was freaking cool as hell. So new intro. Awesome. And welcome, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Good.
All right.
Beautiful Sunday.
All right.
Warm weekend. It was cool.
All right. Very cool. Very cool. So we had a pretty sweet episode of Mandalorian come out.
Yes, we did.
Holy
They were
shit.
everywhere. A lot of action figures were made this week.
And then there was a whole lot of news stories about how, no one's watching The Mandalorian anymore and they should just stop.
Well, then the fact that, the whole retconning of the sequel thing just died this week a completely fiery death, right? It's just
That's right, Mark.
Done. Conversation over.
I scroll past the clickbait because I just know better.
Every single one of you laser eye YouTube and sons of bitches. You guys, they just pissed all over you. Like Dave Filoni and freaking John Favreau were like, let's just really make it like that blatantly obvious that this is what we're doing with the story. That it just like it's a shotgun in the face. In the face, right? In your faces. Hear me, guys? All of your faces.
All right, pal.
In them. You were wrong. Where they? Kathleen Kennedy, where was she at Celebration? On the front stage, announcing 3 new movies. Shut up.
She made the dinosaurs run in Jurassic Park, guys.
Star Wars.
Yes! I'm doing exactly what Dan is doing, like on the inside. But I'm right there.
Well, yeah, for real, man. Oh God, Mark.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like we didn't see last season already anyway, but this is like full confirmation of what a lot of people thought the story was headed to, right? So like they're doubling down on it, and it's just exactly what a lot of people thought it would be, and it's like fantastic. I love it. And we don't even know the full story yet, because I mean we know the end game, so to speak, but there's still some stuff to fill out in the middle. So
yeah, and it's fair to say that like they even gave us some of Chuck Wendig's Aftermath book with, there.
Well, yeah. I mean, didn't Marshall came from there too, right? Or
who?
Cobb Vanth, wasn't he part of the After? Or am I totally thinking?
Yeah, Cobb Vanth. Yeah. So we got, but
Yeah.
that's. I just love that they're incorporating more of Chuck Wendig's book. Like he's getting his like just desserts or whatever that phrase is. Because dude, that book series, second time around I listened to it, I was like in love with it. I was like, I love this like story afterwards, and it felt so like Star Wars, like this band of people like getting together at the end of like the Empire. Things are scattered, and the New Republic is all messed up. It felt very much like what we're getting. So what they're doing and tying it into that book is beautiful.
And we're missing Ray Sloan, though, a very important part. But
dude, don't
look. It's not like the character's being ignored because the Lego figure is incorporated with the TIE bomber.
We know she's around. We know she's around, dude. And like, look, we got Thrawn, right? We got Thrawn, but we know Sloan isn't. And we know there's something up there. She's around.
Who's
That's
Sloan?
the next piece of the puzzle that completes it all. Really, if we get Sloan,
We
that'll
know you're the
be
spy,
real
Nick.
puzzle, I think. Because everyone's saying, like, people are saying that Gideon is the last bad guy. Well, this is what I heard Pete from Around the Galaxy say. Not everyone, Pete from Around the Galaxy. He said, thinks that Gideon is going to be the bad guy that sets up Thrawn. And I've seen other people say it too. He was a tweet that I saw. I think it's very possible that Sloan comes in for Thrawn, kind of like as his like ushering him in, maybe.
Yeah.
You never know. Sloan, I it would be stupid of them not to bring her in.
Yeah. Let's see.
Say it again, Rogue.
Who's Sloan? I don't know what y'all talking about. Thank you.
I'm just gonna all right.
Oh, that's just rude.
I
That is just rude because I made him say it so I wouldn't have to. So, I apologize, Rogue. That was not my intention.
Okay. I mean, it's part of the show,
right? Isn't that her name? What's her full name?
I have no idea what anybody's talking about right now.
She's from the.
I know who Thrawn is.
She's an admiral.
Sounds like a fighter pilot, but apparently he's an author.
She's been all over like the comics. She's been all over the place, and she's very important. Cool. You have to have read the Aftermath books to really get to know her.
Yeah.
Right.
Chuck Wendig's Aftermath books are perfect.
Because
it was just like she was involved in that power vacuum, right? And there was Gallius Rax, and then you've got Sloan, and you've got all these people fighting for power in the Empire of what's left of it. And Gallius Rax, like that's another dude right there who was just like loved his character, very mysterious dude. So I can't wait to see how all of this new stuff brings more of that book in.
That's a cool name too, Gallius Rax.
Right,
exactly.
Well, it's like what's his face? The Mandalorian. Woves, Axe Woves.
That's a good name.
Like what the fuck? That name is so badass. It's such a metal name.
For good names. I mean, if you're looking for a good name, Star Wars is a good place to look.
I mean,
I think it's a big deal.
Hi, Dale. Hi, everybody in the chat.
Hello, everybody.
But we got the Shadow Council, like someone just pointed out. Like I don't think we've got Pelion. Remember, he was all over the Legends material. So like. We are getting like they're doing some of the best Star Wars work I've ever seen in my life. Like they are literally bringing in, like they brought in Thrawn, right? Like so they brought Heir to the Empire. They're bringing more Heir to the Empire shit in. Like Pelion literally says some shit like that. Like, and these, I hate going back to some of these nerds that are mad about it. I'm like, how are you mad about this? This is amazing stuff, what they're doing. Like, this whole episode was so good. I'm sitting there. I'm just like... As I'm watching the Shadow Council, I'm like, how is anybody pissed off right now? This is fucking amazing.
Yeah, everybody looked cool.
See, and
it was a long episode, too, because I was sitting there, I was like, don't let it end here. I'm like, and I was like, oh, wow, this is going even longer than I thought it would, right? That was great. It was nice to feel like it wasn't going to end all of a sudden.
It was a cold pit ultimate episode.
Yeah.
It was I think it was really well done in the sense that if you're not aware of who all these other characters are, it doesn't matter. I still completely understood exactly what was going on. I mean, I knew, as I always do when I'm watching anything Star Wars, that something is going over my head. I'm not seeing something in the background, but I didn't feel lost. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think that think that what people, who maybe sometimes feel that way, particularly if they're normies or lightweights, keep in mind that in the first Star Wars, they didn't explain stuff to you. They just assumed you knew, and they just kind of went about it. Like exposition happens, but it happens very much more, throwaway line rather than, oh, hey, look, the news is on. Let them tell us everything we need to know. I just think it's important to bring that up, because it's not always, you don't have to be deep into the lore to enjoy this and to understand enough of what's going on where you're like, okay, I got it. You know what I mean? And that's I just think it's important to bring that up.
All right. So
thank you, Grandma Admiral Raven Sloan.
Yes.
Nick has brought up a great point. Everybody.
I don't think he is.
One that has got him blocked is probably going to get him blocked and also unfriended and also just excommunicated.
It's going to get ugly on Wednesday.
It's going to be really ugly
on Wednesday. It's not the point that it's not the person he brought up. It's the point.
Right.
The spies. Now we got spies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we know that there's multiple.
Yeah.
Okay. This episode.
Yeah.
Who do we now? We know right at the beginning.
Moff
Gideon's rat, who's been buried in the New Republic.
Okay, but like we all knew
rehab program.
Sure, we all knew she was though.
Who's the other one?
The armorer, dude. All day.
Do you really think it's the armorer?
Yes. She's so okay, dude. Like when the other Mandalorian showed up and she was like,
You're gonna hurt my cred here. I've been backing up the fucking Children of the Watch, people this whole time because, especially with Mando being so like, I don't care about your station or your bloodline. All I care about is your character. And
who's bringing everybody together?
Like,
who's bringing everybody together?
Armor. Why would she do that?
To get all the Mandalorians in one place so they can.
End game. What's the end game for the armor?
Tell you it's not.
It's not Greef. Nick, you know what, Chris? You shouldn't make yourself so mad. Nick sees how mad it gets you, and that's why he just keeps saying,
"Oh yeah."
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for Greef. It doesn't. It's like he basically has the Mandalorians as like a distant police force,
pretty much,
to where if anybody tries to mess with him, they know that the Mando children are there. But now that they've gone to reclaim Mandalore, they're leaving Greef, and he's got no one to protect him anymore.
True.
I just think that whoever it ends up being, or the group of people that it ends up being, that there's a good explanation behind it. However bad the betrayal might be, right? And it would really, really hurt if it were Greef. Like I don't even want to think about that, right? Think about it, but if that's the way we're gonna go, you better have a damn good reason why they went that way.
Should be here right now.
He's got hands, Dan.
Chris should be in here. Right, I don't know why it's that. But
he's a follow Creed. So
it does matter, though. I think that when you can express a betrayal in a way that makes you understand why someone betrayed something, you know what I mean? Because and often that is the case. I mean, we see actors do it all the time. They get interviewed, and how did you prepare to play this character? Asking Michael Shannon about being Zod, and he's like, well, I don't think he's a bad guy. He's trying to do the right thing. And so I think with this, it's going to be a matter of, did they, explain the story of that person well enough, and the feelings that they're feeling and where they're coming from well enough to justify, to a certain degree, that betrayal. I mean, not necessarily justify it, but we've all been there where we've seen somebody do something and we're just like, okay, I can see where you got that information from. I mean, I wouldn't have done it, but I can see where you're coming from. And I think that that's going to be important if we've told that story well enough, or if we're going to tell why they did it, tell it well enough, it'll work. So,
so no one's considering the most obvious candidate, which is Axe Woves.
I mean, he's with the armor.
I think that's also
he's not easy. With the armorer, Axe Woves.
Look, and look, the most obvious.
Where is all of this evidence coming from?
Yeah,
What,
and
the
most
armor?
obvious one, we've already been given one spy already ahead of all this. What's her name? Elia Kane.
Yeah.
I mean, she's hiding in the shadows, talking to Imperial probe droids in the freaking
Got a
street
Decker
in
coat.
the dark. You know, I mean,
Kane's super obvious, right? Like she was super.
I mean, there's
obvious.
going to be the obvious, and then there's going to be the ones that are behind the scenes, obviously.
Oh,
but there's
what if she's
the
there's a
armor
lot of
hurts
people that are
me,
behind
and
the scenes working all this.
I don't see and not Greef either, because how could Uncle Greef Karga to grow?
No.
Greef Karga.
Grogu's grandpa would never. I said that
He
before. I'll
wouldn't.
say it again.
Right,
I
he's
said-
Uncle Greef.
uh-oh,
He's not.
uh-oh.
That's right, Chris. Get it? You tell them, Chris. Get it.
Finish him. I'm just kidding.
Here we go.
To Pete. I'm sorry, to Nick. Actually, to Pete too. The both of you can kiss my ass with your grief slander. You're gonna stop that right now. That is Apollo Creed. He is not.
He is the count of Monty Python.
Dude, think about Little Rocky and Apollo and the cape. I mean,
The cape.
The master of disaster. Okay, he is the king of Sting.
He's the count of Monty Fisto.
Thank you, Rogue.
Count of Monty
No,
Fisto with the Star Wars.
Greef Karga. No. We already got Giancarlo Esposito as a villain. Do we need another dark-skinned villain?
Yeah,
no,
that would be really hard.
That's not a good look.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree.
I guess he wasn't his Ahmed.
We're good. Like, look, we got it already covered with Big Brother Almighty. So we don't need anybody else. He's got it.
Fantastic. Yeah. I listen. I think it's the armor, man. She got all the Mandalorians together in one spot. She got even more excited when more of them showed up. She's like, "Ooh,
it's not like I sent Nick the link because he said let me in. I sent it to his Twitter because apparently he wants to say something. I don't know why he would want to come in here and pick a fight with Chris.
Oh yeah. He wants to go.
Yes.
Bring it on.
All right, everybody, move the furniture back.
This is it right here. This is we've been wanting to know. This was
the Connect about to be a two-person show again.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see if Nick is brave enough to come in here. And
Chris is wearing a Mortal Kombat t-shirt.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that is not a good sign. That is not a good sign.
Hey Nick, test your might.
Yeah.
That's for Mortal Kombat.
Test your might.
Yeah, you're lucky it's not Street Fighter. He's not beating up your car right now.
Crazy.
Wow.
No, I just look, man. The grief thing was way out of left field for me. With the second, Chris texted me really upset. He was pissed.
It's always the through line.
I was like, he's like,
it's always the black guy.
Yo,
it's
literally,
always
I get a text going, I'm
though.
quitting. I get a text going, I'm quitting Force Connect.
What?
I was like, what?
Oh my God.
At first, I was like, yes, come back to PooDoo. And then I was like, why? What's going on? And then
these sons of bitches.
He's like, Pete said, Greef is the other spy. I was like, uh-oh, shit.
You guys weren't there in person on Wednesday when it happened, and I'm at the shop with this man, and he's like, just like cursing out his phone. Very cool to see.
He probably grabbed the next customer. He's like, here's the $20 for the comic book, sir. Chris is like, it's not Greef Karga.
And I was like, and you have
Greef Karga ain't no snitch.
That'd be $27.85. All right.
Yeah. It's like that scene you shared earlier. What's a Nubian? Who said that?
Who said that?
You don't want this black rage. You don't want it.
One of the best moments of any Kevin Smith film. I love that scene so much.
See,
it brings it. Yeah.
I don't think Nick's brave enough to come in.
I really want to see this film. I really hope he comes.
You don't want it.
Send him the link. I thought he was going to come in. I really did. I thought it was
interesting what Mark was saying before about make the betrayal worth it.
Ah!
Maybe somebody wouldn't have a choice. And I was like, that's kind of leaning into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First, I would like to say, hi, Nick.
Hi, Nick.
Just want to get my hi, Nick, out first.
Hey, friends, what are we doing tonight? What's going on?
This is a messed up episode of Brady Bunch.
Night Court is back, and talking about Night Court.
Nick, can I literally understand this legitimate theory of Greef Karga being?
Did you say legitimate?
I want to understand his. I want to understand his point of view.
I didn't say it. Dan said it. I want to put that out there right off the bat.
Yeah, Dan said it.
No. Yeah. I want to understand why he thinks it's legitimate.
All right, so I'm just asking questions here. I'm not here to ascribe blame. I've been playing golf today, doing the most white guy thing I can do, playing golf, hanging out on a Sunday.
And there's your answer right there, ladies and gentlemen. There's your answer. All them Negroes are guilty. That's what's going on right now.
I didn't go fishing. I didn't go fishing. That was like 3 weeks ago, right, Dan?
And that's super
right now. He'd be pissed off.
So, I'm just here to ask questions. We know that our friend, our mentor, the man himself, the maker himself, George Lucas, he loves that thing about poetry. He loves the thing about how it rhymes. There's a scene in The Empire Strikes Back when one Lando December Christmas Calrissian he says, I just made a deal to keep the Empire out of here forever. Greef Karga has betrayed Den before. There was a moment there's precedent. I'm not here to rage on the black man. Let me be the first one to say it. I live in Montgomery, Alabama. I grew up in Selma, Alabama. If there's anybody that's not a black man that understands, there's a bigger picture going on here. But Lando was a legitimate businessman who made himself into a different thing. There's a parallel between Greef and Lando. And I'm not saying it's the right decision. Please don't hear me say that. We've all made mistakes. Lando made a mistake. Lando became a general. Lando made up for his mistake. He helped his friends. He came back after the mistake he made. That doesn't mean that Greef can't come back from the mistake he made. But there's a precedent here with turning him in, making a different decision, and trying to be an established businessman to keep people out of Navarro. If he makes a deal to keep the empire, the burgeoning empire, out of Navarro by turning in these people, I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm saying the cards are on the table that could be an option.
Son of a bitch.
And really,
Cochran.
And really.
Oh, that's so fucked. Why?
I'm sorry, Chris. I couldn't listen.
No. Bring him back in. I want to hear the rest of his coded hatred for black space people. Come on, Nick. For black space people.
But he's making too much sense.
Space people.
Okay.
Oh, just like that. It's the Royal Rumble.
No. Here we go.
If I've done anything else, I'm not afraid to pass the buck. This is really Pete's fault. If we all really realize that,
is it Pete's fault or is it Randy's fault?
Your Honor,
it actually is Pete's dad's fault. If we're dialing it back, this is Pete's dad's fault.
But it's gonna hurt like hell if that's the case. But yeah, I don't want to think.
If that's the case, I'm done with content creating for Star Wars.
Here's the thing. Full disclosure.
All you had to talk about was Cloud City and how Lando made a deal. Immediately.
He made a deal to keep the Empire out of there forever.
It is exactly the most insane Xerox carbon copy. The same move.
So why would they do it twice as the armor? Boom.
No. Hold on. Here's the thing. And I'm gonna have to get out of here because I've got kids to put to bed and grown-up crap to do, and I wish I could hang out.
Who cares
with y'all
about your kids, Nick? You're talking about Greef Karga.
That's bold talk from somebody who was like 2 nights ago rocking a baby on their stream.
I'm sorry.
So.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, dad nerd.
Here's my deal. The red herring is too easy. The red herring is the armor. That's too easy. That's what we all think. There's the horns on the helmet. There's she's been shady from the beginning. It's too easy. I think it's the water world Mandos at this point. They roll up in their big like Kevin Costner.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah, me too. That's what I'm.
You know why?
I'm down with that.
Skinny dude.
It was
skinny dude.
Too convenient.
Yeah,
skinny dude. That's in there. That skinny man though. He worked with he worked with Gus Fring. You know what I'm saying? Bring it back.
Correct.
That's the only, and the brother in there from Top Gun is a part of it. I'll accept.
What about
if that's the case?
But it was super convenient that they led them right to where they needed to be. Oh, we know where the forge is. We know where the
easier? It's Grogu, okay? It's Grogu.
There you go. If it had been, wouldn't it have been easier for them to come and get them on Navarro because he literally had given them a place where they could be and they could get attacked. So I don't know.
Yeah, and here's why I don't think it's the armor. I think because, of course we get again all the red herring, all the sketchy stuff where she pieces out into space. She pieces out into space. She heads off to take them to get medical care, whatever the hell it is. But Gideon doesn't hesitate to send the TIE bombers and the interceptors after her, all that kind of stuff. Like, I think that's where that's going.
No micro.
I think it's just too easy for it to be her. That's my big deal.
I don't understand how it's too easy for it to be her.
How dare you?
But man, it for story's sake and for hearts being ripped out sake, it really makes a lot of sense for it to be Greef Karga.
And that note, I'm going to go because I've passed the ball to Dan at this point.
Say that one more time, Dan. Hold on a second.
Oh no!
Put Dan full screen right now.
I can still do that.
I said it makes a lot.
Say it again. Say it one more time. Say it one more time, Cleveland, so I can hear you.
Say it with your full chest.
I said it makes a lot of sense for it to be Greef Karga.
Greef Karga.
Wow! Wow!
That's different.
Dan is rolling in reverse now.
He's been in the background.
Here in reverse.
Is that like Adele Dazeem? Is that what that mistake was like?
Boy.
Oscars club saying
what?
Abada. Adele, a disease.
Thank you for getting that, Raven. I appreciate it.
I am here.
You mean Travolta at the Oscars?
Here for you.
Thank you.
Chris,
it's very
okay?
What if it's Bo-Katan?
It's not Bo-Katan.
Yeah, Mike.
I think the armor is still an android. I don't want to hear anybody say it.
Well, with Bo-Katan, it can make
that character they kept saying the armor was. There's a character that name I didn't know.
Right?
Was it?
Yeah. Rook Cast, the one I told you about.
Yes, that's it. That's it. That's the name I keep seeing pop up.
It does make sense though, Bo-Katan, because like that moment when they were behind that blast door and everything, like he just like walked up and he was just like, "Oh, you're gonna do everything I say right now because now the jig is up."
Right. And
right? Like it seemed like he was like kind of talking to her like it's over now. You can let everyone know. Just give me the dark saber. It's all over.
Right. It's settled.
Yeah. I don't agree with that reading of the situation, but to each their own. I think that I think she's still blistered from the last time she got burned by them. I don't think that's a bed she's going to be willing to get into, no matter how fun it is.
No, I agree with you.
It's just not going to work out on the other end, and she knows that. She's got too much experience with that, and I think it's too new. You know what I mean? Like, fool me once, shame on me, but fool me twice in 5 minutes, well, then I'm a dumbass. And she would fall into the category of fool me twice in 5 minutes. I just don't see that coming from her, and I don't feel that from her.
When I watched that part, that's what I thought, Raven, where I was like, he's trying to play that old shit on her where he already had that control on her about, like he fooled her once, and now he was just trying to be like, just give me the lightsaber and it'll be all over, whatever. That's what I was thinking. But Mike just brought it to my attention. If she were the spy, like, it's possible he was being like that because he was just like, the jig is up, like,
if you have a spy embedded and in a power position, the last thing you're going to do until you absolutely have everything in hand is out them. There's no way. It just doesn't make any sense, and not from somebody as smart as Moff Gideon quite obviously is, because damn it, as soon as I saw him, I'm like,
see, now I feel now I feel like we have a Star Wars Knives Out situation, and the finale is probably freaking directed by Ryan Johnson.
Hold on.
I'm telling you,
who's directing this last one, by the way?
It's gonna be awesome.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's not Rick again, is it?
Is it Jon Favreau?
Is it?
Ooh,
dude, when I saw his freaking goddamn name pop up, I was like, Rick, you son of a bitch. I was like, oh, so good.
And we don't know the runtime of this last one, too.
Right? And that's another reason why you know it's not going to be Carl Weathers.
He just went to his full government.
You know what I'm saying?
You know it's not going to be Carl Weathers.
I need to stop playing around. Stop fucking around.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not necessarily wrong,
Nick,
but at the same time,
I'm telling you right now,
we look out for our own.
Nick made a really
we don't.
In this instant, Raven, let me have this one. In this instant,
okay, yeah,
Nick had points, sure.
Right. You're absolutely right.
Nick had points.
Well, whatever happens on Wednesday, we should have a discussion and at least be there for each other for whatever happens.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying, it might be a lot to deal with.
Everybody be on call.
Brian?
Yeah, Brian literally just said it's going to be Greef Karga. That's what he just said right there.
Chris,
when Nick came on here, he proved a good case, Chris.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
Nothing.
We all love you, Chris. Everyone loves you.
Damn.
What's up, guys?
Hey, man.
Hey.
Let me tell you about Action Jackson.
Picard was awesome this past week.
I want everyone in the chat to list who you think it is.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, let me know so I can see which one you are.
Don't fake it. I want to take a poll. I want a poll, damn it. I want a poll.
We should run a poll. Why not?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Make sure you put your name with it so we know exactly who you are.
It's a shit.
Getting written out of the Christmas list this year already.
You know, right? I know.
Yo, I like, dude. Look, Dale's comment. Can you put up Dale's comment? Put up Dale's comment.
I think Axe Woves is really quite obvious as well.
Let me do it.
I think that's. I mean, I don't disagree with the idea, but I do think it's super obvious.
This is kind of cool. I kind of like this idea, like Gideon kind of being too rogue right now, and like Pelion and the rest of them are kind of like, he's kind of getting a little too big for his britches.
That other Mandalorian dude that was connected with Sabine's family that we haven't seen yet. I was trying to think of that character's name, but anyway, maybe somebody behind the scenes.
Action too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think that is important to think about though with that council, with them talking. You know, you've got the two that are disagreeing, doing their best to get one up, and in the end, they both end up having to back down.
Well, Pelion,
and no one likes that. And people who are in this kind of position, in this kind of organization, where they live that kind of excusing things that they would otherwise consider to be a problem, and they get to the top, and then in the group of the top, they're the ones talking the loudest.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Yeah. Well, it's like, because look, going back to Star Trek, The Undiscovered Country, the fact that you had the Federation and Klingons all conspiring because they were afraid of change, I think, to me, is what makes the most sense that how this is all going to play out. It's the people that have what they feel the most to lose, about having everybody finally being united this way. That's where I'm going to leave it at. However that plays out, but I think that's what we're going to end up seeing.
I still think it's a Mandalorian of some sort because all of them working together so quickly is just weird. Like it's just like
it shouldn't be.
Nobody has to be shared. I know it shouldn't be, but I mean, I think
because it does happen.
Yeah.
It does happen. Disparate peoples of a larger group can very quickly come together, and
she's in it for the money.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think that does happen and can happen, and I don't think we should automatically discount it because heaven knows in the real world, we could use a little bit more of disparate groups of a larger group come together and behave, as one to cause, saying, movement and change and whatnot and who's it, what's it. And I'm not saying anything particular, just anything. And I think we have seen it throughout history, certainly. And I don't think it's completely unrealistic, especially when the basis of this particular disparate groups of people is a religion. Regardless of the fact that they practice it differently, it is, to them at least, a religion. And religion, as we all know, people will, go to the ends of the earth for what they believe. And that's not a criticism, it's just a reality. Yes, and if this group is based, if the thing that binds them all together, even when they're different, is their religion, that's a hard base layer to break through. You know what I mean? And not to say that it can't be done, because obviously it can be. Even the tightest group can be torn apart by betrayal. But I just don't think that we should automatically assume that one of the Mandos is in on it just because that would be the most surprising. Because the most surprising isn't always the worst thing that could possibly happen.
Raven, I just keep having a hard time with everyone saying it's too easy for the armor to be the spy. I'm like, how? Where is this evidence?
If the armor gets killed, it's going to be...
for some people, having the armor end up being this. Sorry, Raven. Having the armor be this person that's a spy is going to hurt a lot too. I mean, because we've loved this character, despite what happened, with what she's done to Mando and having him make him do what he did to find his way back.
I don't care. I don't care.
Started souring on the character a bit. But before that, it's a fan favorite. So
it is a fan favorite.
Ugly either way,
You know what? I don't. You know what? I wasn't mad about when the armor when he made him apostate. I didn't give a shit because I was like, Din knew. He knew what he was doing. Yes, everyone. Yes, for the greater. He was doing a good thing. But he knew that he was breaking the rules of the Mandalorian. He knew what he was doing, and he knew that was going to happen. The armorer was holding to the creed, and she did what she had to do. I did not.
Or the name Creed.
I respected her more.
Yeah.
And that's why when he came back and he was just like, yeah, I did all that shit. She was like, okay.
Or it is Bo-Katan, Casca, and Axe Woes, and they were placed, and that fight was rigged, and all that stuff was all part of the plan to get that Darksaber back and to do it her way. I'm just saying.
Castle destroyed and all that.
I can't remember what show it was, but there was another show where there was a question on who was. I can't remember what it was, but it was like another thing where everyone was trying to figure out who it was, and there was an obvious choice, and everyone was like, "It's too obvious," and it ended up being what?
Dallas. Yeah.
What was
it?
Dallas. He said Dallas.
What? Who's got JR, right?
But all I'm saying is that it's quite possibly a very obvious person, and I'm still thinking it could be Axe Woes. That son of a bitch.
And who are Axe Woes people? Casca and Bo-Katan.
Well, Bo-Katan, not really. She's been out the crew for a minute.
Yeah, that's part of the plan.
Breaks so many hearts.
That's part of the plan.
Considering what they're doing with her and whatnot.
Yeah, and I think the whole interview thing with like the Mandalorian is shifting. That's all to work us.
You guys are evil.
And you're just going to go back to being Jindar when Bo-Katan gets out of there. I'm telling you, dude.
I don't like the way you think. I don't like the way you think. That is evil.
I'm telling you.
Evil.
No one is evil. No one is evil. They just can't let somebody tell them the story. They got to come up with
trust issues. Trust issues. All of you.
Lester's the other spy. Chris is like, he sure is.
Most likely it's Lester. And Rick, oh God, Rick's in here. He's going to start causing trouble.
Just saying.
He's just
she had people in place.
We love you, Rick.
She could have put the people in place.
I think it's really exciting though that we're not exactly sure. There are obvious choices. There are less obvious choices. It's fun, yeah, that we aren't exactly sure, but you know, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Do we think this is Gideon's final stand? Like this is Gideon's last episode? And also
probably.
What happened to the fucking fleet that's been floating around Mandalore when Gideon's but like what happened to them?
I got a feeling
they ran out of gas.
All the kids that were in that ship, all the other Mandos. What the hell happened? We didn't see anything. We didn't see ships blow up. We didn't see anything happen with them. So what happened? Because we know the armorer.
Well, she's on her way there to stick the knife in their back.
Well, if it was the armorer, that's the reason why that whole other crew got away.
Riss.
If they got away. But what happened? Where did they go? I don't know. We didn't get an answer.
Or it's
they were in orbit.
Casca, Wolves, and the armorer. And we get a cut flashback scene of when she said she saw the mythosaur, and that's when they hash out their plan. They've been in a room together talking to each other. They could have easily made plans. I'm a genius.
Yo, who thought like when they were on that glass boat or whatever that they were floating over ice, glass?
I thought that was the mythosaur that came up, right?
That's what I thought. I thought right away. I was like, it's a mythosaur, and it wasn't. It was just some like
random beastie on the planet. I'm like, okay, whatever.
No, that thing is called the Graggalosaur.
It's called it's called the Noseville. Let's get the fuck out of here.
It's the Nawson.
Yeah,
okay,
that is definitely a
Nawson.
I love it,
Praetorian Guard, because I wore my hipster Hadrian t-shirt today just in honor of the Praetorian Guard. Can we talk a little bit about
God? Yeah.
You need to make that a shirt right away.
They were so cool. They were so cool. They were there for 15 seconds.
It was that river,
really
dude.
Cool 15 seconds. Man, I love those red dudes. I always wanted to dress up as an Imperial Guard, one of the red ones for the Emperor. I changed over to wanting to be a Praetorian Guard. So oh my God.
They were so cool.
Raven, after that, can we all just take a moment of silence for Paz Vizsla?
Of course.
Who I thought was the original spy, but he went out like a Bosk.
He was boss.
Paz.
Bosk is a Star Wars
character. He can't be dead though, right? He can't be dead, right?
He's fucking dead, Raven.
He's very dead.
He can't be dead, right?
That dude, the guy stabbed it down his back.
Did they hire somebody to play him though?
Yeah. He took the blade. The blade went into his armor right here. The blade went into his armor right here and straight down his spine.
I love you, Mark.
Yeah, that's a whole tuner wrap.
Went underneath his rib cage and into his heart.
I'm just saying, didn't they hire somebody to play him with the mask off?
It was magic.
What, Favreau?
Magic. And
no.
What if this was a Highlander?
Ragnar is
That's really uplifting.
Again.
I haven't even drank for his dad yet, dude. Again. What the hell?
I mean, he'll
but
be fine.
yo, how cool were those Praetorian Guards, dude? I was straight just like The Last Jedi. Suck it again, YouTube nerds.
It's a total retcon that's coming. No women, no people of color. It's just vanilla all the way through.
Vanills.
For the rest of Star Wars time. That's it. That's it. No women. Right. No spice.
No seasoning.
No nothing.
I'm a vanilla.
Is that what they're calling us now? Spice?
All the seasonings.
No paprika for you. No onion powder for you.
I'll take that.
No saffron for you because that shit's expensive.
Put down that cumin, young man.
I'm a vanilla. What the?
You don't use curry in this house.
Stop
It's one of those nights, kids.
All
Strap
spice
in.
and nonsense.
It is definitely one of those. I'm hot.
Boiled chicken breast and mayonnaise.
Yes, that's it. Eat them.
Glass of
right.
water.
French toast every day, no brown sugar.
I'm hot.
And Rick.
Rick.
I hate Rick guts.
Honey,
So
bunches of oats.
Oh my god, it's funny because it's true. Oh, shit and mayonnaise.
Sir, do you have any
vanillas? Yeah, vanillas. I'll get on it, Jeff.
What am I, Jamaican?
I always like raisins in my chicken salad.
Oh my god! No, kill this man! No! Let's mix dried fruits with mayonnaise. What's the problem?
Oh, it's like a half month down here. Oh shit!
Just dip your prunes in vinegar. It's fine.
I'm a simple girl. Oreos work for me.
Oreos,
oh,
man.
Oh god, I can't.
Chris, don't make that
Yeah,
face.
dude.
It's hilarious.
Put down those
I
Oreos.
forget
and
what
pack
the
those
hell we were
longer
even
dudes.
talking about. I don't even know what.
We were talking about how awesome the Praetorian Guard
Praetorian
are.
Guards are, yeah.
Yes.
That's where we were at the
Strange,
Praetorian
man.
Guard. Okay, yeah.
You know,
Took
Paz
3 of them
went
to
out
kill
like
him,
a
though.
goddamn champion.
He
did.
He
Did.
died
Did,
with
man.
his
That dude-
hand clasped around the neck of one of them.
What
And
he
yeah, he was like,
busted-
"Fuck off me," but
busted his
still,
butter knife.
it was that
It's
was
Oh,
that was a champ
just
way
the
to go.
stuff of
It's also
Oreos.
Rouse
That's
stuff right
right.
there. Roke, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's the simple fact that it was an honorable death. It was a noble death. And it was a kick-ass death. And if you got to go out as a warrior, you want nothing more than to go out, honorably. And something that they can go home and tell your kid about, and he can be proud of the way that you handled your business. So, and that's, that goes across pretty much everybody. So I say,
Ragnar,
kick ass.
your dad was a spy, but he went out like a champ.
And then you got Moff Gideon
He's
looking
not
like
a spy, damn it. Don't speak ill of the dead, Dan.
Are we to assume that
this went out like a champ.
Gideon's own Mandalorian Beskar troops got him out of that thing?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, made by the armor. Yes.
Okay. Whoa.
Exactly.
Wow.
Here's the thing.
That's
if that
Who
armor
helped
was
them
not-
put those damn things together?
Oh,
If the armor was like,
They
I
built
didn't even
a
think
Death
about
Star,
that.
Made by the
people.
armor.
Let's not act like they're technically incapable. They built a Death
Sure.
Star.
Mike,
I
Mike,
mean,
you know what?
But as far as like smithing,
but-
that Mandalorian armor, like the Beskar, that's a different thing. And I think, damn, what happened to Roke? Oh, there you go.
Because it makes too much sense now.
Moff
Yeah.
Gideon was
No,
Darth
if she
Vader.
she didn't mold that armor for them. She probably told them how to do it, told them how
There
to
you
use
go.
the forge and
Yeah.
everything. Boom.
Yeah.
Like that's how it happened.
okay, why
And I
does the
do
woman
think-
always have to be the manipulative one?
It got quiet in here
It-
quick.
it's-
Everybody
it's-
makes too much sense.
It's easy writing. She plants the seeds. And she was
That
the
was
seed
that
planter.
was low of me, and I apologize profusely.
I mean, granted, I did play the race card like 10 minutes ago. So
It was my turn.
It was the hot
Mills are
tag.
taking over.
She got in the hot tag, big boot, leg drop.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Armor was like Bo-Katan saw the mythosaur, y'all. She's in charge. Like she's literally was putting things in place
and she knew what
from
and
jump.
she did not bat an eye when Bo had said, that
Mm-hmm.
thing is down there. That's how I know that, maybe Gideon had seen it.
Right.
And truth be told, if you look at his armor and like his chest plate, it's different from the other guys. And
Yeah.
it's got like that. I forgot what that thing is called. That like only Mandalorians have in their armor, like the chest part of their armor.
With the little
He's
diamond
got
in
it.
the middle. Yeah.
Homeboy is the Mandalorian. He was probably like loyal to Maul or something like that. I'm telling you.
I think Moff Gideon is the Mandalorian too. I think he
Gideon
is.
is the Mandalorian.
I think he
Is
is
a Mandalorian. Yeah,
I think so. too.
absolutely.
Gideon's a
Yeah.
man.
When I saw it with the help,
I think one of those Maul loyal Mandalorians.
Oh, it's one of the clans,
like Rook Cast.
Oh shit!
Oh, and this is like the most hands-on she's like ever been.
Oh
like,
my
she's
god!
Getting a lot of time.
Someone saying there is no spy, Mattuine. I like your name, Mattuine. That's a good name.
I do too.
There's no spy.
Very
pretty
nice.
good.
There is no spoon. It is us that bend.
I've never seen Mattuine on here before. Welcome.
Yes, I love it. There is no spoon.
There is no spoon. Get out here, little kid. I'm scared. I'm Neil.
The real spy the rebels killed along the way.
Jeez. That's harsh. Okay.
Dark Trooper armor.
He's in different armor.
His helmet was different armor. His helmet was different.
His helmet's got horns.
You remember
just
in
like
the
subtitles said.
Remember those Imperial? Remember in the Clone Wars, those troopers, those like Mando trooper things.
Yeah, that's what they look like.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They do look similar. Yeah.
Telling you.
And who was it who led them? Those troopers.
It did pique my interest when she talked about the clans. When like he was asking about Death Watch. And like I was too absorbed in my like the Children of the Watch are like awesome and there's nothing wrong with them like theory to see that maybe there is a possibility that maybe she's loyal to a different clan and maybe she's a spy.
Well, I think that's always possible.
She's showing the face too.
You know how much you can choose to know or choose to expose to people. Everybody can be made to look like a hero. We all have closets, and whether or not people know what all skeletons are in there makes the difference in how they look at you. And if you're in a position where that's the case and you're working very, very hard to keep your closet, unattainable for people, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just, it wouldn't be the first time in history that a vast majority of people believed that someone was a good guy when in reality they weren't.
Mm-hmm.
That, it wouldn't be the first time in history that somebody we thought was a good guy who is still a good guy, even though they do bad things. Cassian Andor. So it's always, it's always in motion is the future.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just glad there's a twist coming, and I'm just excited about stuff like this.
Yeah.
I'm really, really excited.
I'm mad it's gonna be over.
Dude, it's gonna be sad for Chris.
It's gonna be sad for a lot of us because we invested in these characters. I think we're gonna be sad regardless of what happened.
Look, I got this Black Chrysanthemum plushie.
Hey, Uncle, that's my uncle.
What?
That was called distraction, Chris.
From your uncle is an exile?
Dude, tell me about it.
Well, cool film,
it was my mom's $20.
They didn't announce it in Europe, but I think they'll announce it in Japan.
They have to. That's where it's for looking on vacation.
Chris has the teaser.
They keep bumping me, man. They keep bumping me. When I get out there on that center stage floor.
Every time I see that picture of Brooke with that hoodie
on promoting Kevin Feige style.
The facial expression is everything.
How did I get here?
That's he's like, whoa, man, this is Kashyyyk. Holy shit.
You may ask yourself. That's the theme.
Yeah.
How did I get here?
Oh, yes, definitely. I love it. Oh, the day
same as it ever was.
Where the water holding and the day gone by, water flowing under. Sorry.
I've heard some backstage chatter about real show.
Once in a lifetime. Same as it ever was. So
true.
It was really a great episode. So honestly, do you think that this finale is going to be like, do you think if it was a waveform, right? The season, do you think like it's hit this Okay, is it just going to stay up for the finale?
My fear is we're going to find out whoever the spy is, and Thrawn's going to show up in like Punk Gideon. And I kind of don't want to see that at least yet. I kind of like he got this cool ass outfit, so I kind of want to see him do cool ass outfit stuff. But I do see Thrawn showing up and being like, "Shut all this shit down, it's mine." And have it just lead into Ahsoka in season 1. But
yeah, and I don't want it to end on like, oh, did Din die or not? Because I don't.
Oh, yeah, I'm just saying that. Yeah.
You don't need that. It's like just connect us to the next part with there being high stakes. But just don't. None of this like having to wait to see if anybody died. Come on.
Here's a good question, Matt Tween. You know what? At first, I like saw that question and I was like, but it was good. But it made me think like, who like did this episode, like did this season focus on the most? Who did we get the most like character building from out of like this whole season? Like what like what person did we get attached to? Right.
Bo-Katan.
Right.
I don't think Din's dying though.
No.
His story ain't over yet. It's just that we had to shift to her so we can get more of her story. Then, I don't think Din's going anywhere though.
No, he has to get caught at being the spy so he can get his Darksaber back and then cope with that stuff. I'm just. But yes, Bo-Katan was the main, and the armor feeding her lines on how to.
I feel you too. I want more for the final episode.
But yeah. And I honestly think the Rick and Katie Sackhoff interview was a swerve on the whole, like, oh yeah, we're shifting, like, because the show's going on while Celebration happened, so they wanted to talk about it, so they were like, oh okay,
yeah. We were lucky we didn't get spoiled though. I did pretty well. Like I only found out one thing, like wasn't that big of a deal to me. It was cool to find out, but I wasn't like, oh, that ruins it. So. Yeah.
Oh, what you talking about from Celebration?
Yeah, reveal? I was afraid that we were just going to get completely spoiled by the time we saw it. And luckily, it didn't. So
I'll tell you right now, it's some fucking bull. I'm actually like, look. I'm pissed at the fact that like when we were at Celebration, right? You always get something special when you go there. You spent $250 for the ticket. You spent all this money to go out there, and you always get like an exclusive look that nobody else has seen. And we got these Kenobi tickets and all this stuff, but then they ended up showing it that night, right?
Yeah. Why couldn't we get that shit?
So what the fuck with episode 7? I was like, God damn it, these people. And you know what? Good for you guys, the people that got to see it.
It's only the fourth
you, but also at the same time, fuck you guys.
Whoa.
All right,
Pally. And for those of us who are really smart and aren't on social media,
I'm just kidding.
Spoiled.
No, it's just like I wish that we would have got an early episode 7 for everyone like they did.
I mean, tis what it is.
I felt a little cheated.
A little anticipation won't kill you.
Yeah, I want some anticipation for what's ahead, right? But I don't want it to be like based on like wondering whether Din died or not, because we know he's got to keep going, right?
I would agree.
Can I also make a point?
Yeah. It's still a low wolf.
There's a person that we haven't seen that's been in like everything so far. Boba.
Yeah, Boba Fett flies on a pterodactyl. Actually,
we've yet to see Boba, and like I mean, everyone was talking about like at the beginning of this season, since the book of Boba Fett had part of Mando's story in it, that we were going to get more Boba Fett.
Yeah,
but everybody cried and whined like little bitches, and so now we're not going to get any more of that.
But are we not?
No, we are. Yeah, we're going to get that shit.
Do you think he might make a surprise?
Maybe.
I doubt it, though. I don't think.
What do you think is going to happen then?
They may call him to more like, hey, Din's in trouble. Him and help. You know?
I'm not saying I love it. I'm just saying I don't see that as a crowd pleasing moment.
Yeah, I mean,
I see it as a me pleasing moment for sure.
Me too. Coming in on that Rancor, just like fucking shit up.
Okay, honey.
It's true. I think it would be cool to have them come back because eventually it all comes together anyway, right? We do get the crossover event that's coming.
One of us.
Yeah.
We do. Because, so, I mean, we do have Dave Filoni's movie, his Mandoverse, as his wrapping up of the Mandoverse movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
So shit, we could possibly get season, I guess, 4 Ahsoka Tano season 2 or 3, and the Book of Boba Fett, all of that in this Mandoverse movie. But then that movie will be the end of all of this era's stuff.
Yeah.
I guess that would be.
I dig it. More Star Wars.
Absolutely.
Give me.
Yeah. No. Seriously. Yeah. I'm down too. Then
by then.
Then we've got. It would see this Dawn of the Jedi movie could be setting up a whole era up in that future for stuff. They're smart. They know what they're doing. I'm so excited for all the shit that's about to come out. I can't wait, to show my kid all of this stuff too, all the comic books. Just look, there's. It
looks like they're learning from their past mistakes too. It looks like there's a through line now.
It took a bit to get there.
Yeah,
they started out. A little bit on the arrogant side with the, they said in the first line in Force Awakens was, this is how we make things right. And they just totally didn't do shit with the prequels. They didn't touch on any of that stuff. Yeah. It was just all original trilogy stuff and practical effects. No, we know what they want.
It was
there's a hell of a lot more to it than that. And there's so many different bases you got to hit. But that's going to happen in the beginning. But yeah, they're really hitting their stride now. And
definitely
we get another solo story out of it.
And
thank you,
and
Chris.
Again, everything isn't for everyone.
Right.
Okay. It's totally possible that in the lexicon of Star Wars, there might be a couple of things that just are not your thing.
I got to check every box.
Yeah, and you can't expect the creators to make things like that. That's like asking this, live stream to always be exactly what you want, and for us to always have exactly the opinions you want and say it the way you want us to. That's not realistic, and it shouldn't be realistic in anything else. Right. They're telling stories, and sometimes the story is not going to be your thing. And that's okay. There's plenty of stuff that's not my thing, but just don't give up. Go on to the next thing. Try the next thing. Don't let it bother you. Don't let it turn you into a jerk who gets up every morning and just finds reasons to be a jerk to other people because it's not cool, dude.
It's almost
when it comes to the whole end thing, Shopper Coda blog, that's comic books. DC had a thing called Final Crisis. It's 5 more cents.
Yeah. It's so many crises past Final Crisis.
It's
perpetual, man.
Yeah. It's a trick to make you think Thanos is going to win twice.
Yeah, Crisis on Infinite Wallets, the whole thing.
Yeah, that's right. Crisis on my wallet. That's right. It is.
The Crisis, they killed Batman for a year just to bring it back because death in comics sells money.
Right.
When you think about wallets, it's important to remember that when you're talking about movies, particularly, us diehards go to movies. Yes, we do. We're not the main group of people that go to see these movies. So, they have to please not just us, but the larger contingent of people that isn't us. And
I think
as much as I would love every single movie to be fan service from the beginning to the end, that's only about shit that's in the books and the comic books and it's deep lore. And if you aren't in, you don't fucking know. But that's not going to pack movie theaters worldwide because remember, every Star Wars movie you've ever gone to, even on opening night, 50 to 75% of the people sitting in that theater haven't seen anything other than the movies. I'm sorry, but that's the truth, peeps. We got to remember that we are the minority here.
I mean, we deal with it every week, Raven. We have people come up to the comic stores thinking that what they saw can be translated into a book. I was like, you just watched it.
It's not the same thing.
But there are people. Obviously with the YouTubers and our fellow content creators, there are some cool people out there who really do take those deep dives so that if people want to access that information, it's out there and they make it fun and they make it accessible. And so if you really start loving it and you're like, hey, I would like to know more, it's like, hey, look, there's this content creator. Look, check their stuff out. You're gonna know right away, okay, I totally get this. This is cool. Thank you. That sort of thing.
I agree 100%.
You basically just, you pay it forward. It's like, look, I didn't have this when I was learning, but you do now. So how about it?
Yeah, and I mean, indulge in all of the creativity that's out there. Indulge in fanfic. Indulge in message boards and people having discussions about characters and places and possible storylines. Like, all of that is great. But, like, seriously, don't get up in the morning just to be a jerk to somebody who disagrees with you, because there's so much better things. There's so many better things to do. Better ways to spend your time, y'all. Like, it's cool. We don't have to all agree. It's fine. Just be cool. Be cool.
Yeah, if you don't like something, shut the.
Or just rewatch the old stuff you already like.
Yeah,
simple.
Right.
I mean, and shut the fuck.
If you like Darth Vader, just go watch Darth Vader stuff.
Right? Like, A New Hope is cool the 500th time you see it. I'm certain of it.
Just his helmet real shiny in the second one. Check it out. Polished them up,
Well,
he turns his head really fast and almost takes out General Veers that one time. But, it's
pretty funny.
He got real close. He was like,
it's those moments that we love in the movies that make them, special to us. And it's okay to go back and just do that.
Well, we'll see what this season finale brings. We've had a lot of the shows bring a lot of awesome, finales that people remember. Like Rebels had Twilight of the Apprentice, right? Like that was like a super awesome episode. So I'm hoping that, we'll get that out of this season finale where it's just like an episode you'll never forget.
Maybe.
Oh yeah,
hopefully
that'd be amazing.
Hope so.
Yeah,
they're not going to handle this like they're handling the last season of Flash. If anyone's watching that,
no one's
so behind.
Nah, Chris, I've been watching Titans and freaking Dick Grayson, who just got like twice the size.
Yeah, homie's huge.
Yeah, he's jacked. Got jacked.
Yeah.
But anyway, we have breached an hour, and I think I'm
a
baby, so I have to, ask everybody where people could find them, so I can get off and go relieve my wife before she murders me. Chris, it's been a joy to have you on today. Where can everyone find you, buddy?
I'm on all the socials because I have to be. So find me at Chris Ryons.
Friday Force Connect.
Friday Force Connect with
Star Wars on YouTube
with Pete and Nick, who are skating on thin ice right now with the Greef Karga.
Skating on thin ice, but they're making a lot of sense.
Yeah, accusations. False accusations.
Boy, that Lando Cloud City thing hit the nail on the head.
I mean, come on,
Mark,
man. Come on.
Mark,
so did my armor.
Where can everybody find you, Mark?
You can find me here on Sunday evenings with You Fine Folk, and you can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at I am El Diablito.
Raven?
You can't find me anywhere but here. Have a nice day.
With the vanills.
Brian, that's with the Z at the end. 90, keeping it 90s.
Hope you're ready to realize that, Brian, that it's from the 90s.
Where is
That's the best new fucking slur I've ever heard in my life.
Hope you figured feel that.
there we go. Yep.
Hi, Brian. You didn't miss anything. We were great.
Yeah. You can find me here every Sunday, hopefully. 9 p.m. EST. And every Tuesday for Broaxium _ that is a floor dash. Watch your step gaming. This week, Dan's back on the sticks, I think, because we're playing Last of Us, hopefully, and I'm going to be in the back seat yelling this time.
Hashtag.
Watching Dan try to be stealthy, running up on people, thinking he just stab them in the back.
I'm going to be able to do it. I don't know how good I'm going to be able to do it live, but I'll be able to.
It's going to be really funny, dude.
Yeah, it'll be great. It'll be a good time. Come Tuesday night. It'll be fun. You can find me at StayOnTarget42. As Mike said, BX Gaming Tuesday nights at 9. Same place you find us here. Also, Sundays at 9. Shooting the PooDoo. It was lovely having you all here. And we will see you all next week. And we will find out who the spy was. Will it be Greef Karga? Will it be Bo-Katan? Will it be Axe Rose?
All of the above. Except
who is it? We don't know, but we will find out next week. We love you all. Have a great week. May the force be with you always.
Hiya.
Impressive. Most impressive. That's it.